Hi everyone, my name is Julie. This is Keep Calm with Books and Coffee. I talk about books on this channel, mainly books about magic, but today we are going to be talking about Emily Henry books. Hello everyone. So this vlog is a bit of a journey because this started back in January and my plan was to read Emily Henry's 4 backlist titles before Funny Story came out in, I believe, April. And that did not happen. This vlog is a bit disjointed because things evolved and changed over the past eight months when I started Beach Read in January. Like I said, I had that plan and that is not exactly what happened. So in this vlog, you're going to see me read 3 books. Like I said, plans went differently than I thought they would. First, we read Beach Read, which is Emily Henry's debut novel. In this, we follow January and Gus. January's father has recently passed away, and she is taking care of this house that he had for many years on the Lake Michigan. And Gus is her neighbor. They are both published authors, and the two of them sort of create a competition between the two of them to see who can write the other's genre and sell the most books because they are, I think, both stuck as writers. Then we read, I read Book Lovers, which is, I believe, her 3rd novel, in which we follow Nora and her sister Libby, who go on a vacation before Libby has her second or 3rd child, I can't remember. And Nora is a publicist, I think, in New York City. She is in the book world, and she runs into someone she knows professionally named Charlie in this small town that they go to visit, and things kick off from there. And then my 3rd and final book ended up being Funny Story, which is Emily Henry's newest release, in which we follow Daphne and Miles. Daphne was dating Peter, Miles was dating Petra, and Peter and Petra broke up with their respective partners and started dating each other. So Daphne and Miles move in together. Then they receive a wedding invitation from the other two, and they decide to pretend to fake date and go to the wedding in order to create as much chaos as possible. So obviously I have read all of these at this point, but now I am going to throw you back to January Julie to see how she got along with January in Beach Read. Hello friends, so I have never read an Emily Henry, and this seems like something I should rectify, both because Emily Henry is very popular and also because my sister, who I live with, loves her books, absolutely adores them. So she has been pestering me to read them, and the last time she pestered me to read a book, it was Daisy Jones and the Six, and I absolutely loved that. So I feel like I should give her a little bit of credit here. This video is also inspired, or the original idea came from Bree at Four Paws in a Books. We were on a live stream one time and I had mentioned that I had never read Emily Henry, and she was like, you should absolutely make content out of that. And Bree was right, so here we go. My goal is to read the 4 books that Henry has released before her 5th book, Funny Story, comes out in April. So we're starting this in January, and they are pretty readily available as audiobooks through my library, so I'm going to get started on it now. I'm going to start with Beach Read. Doesn't feel like the right time to read Beach Read, but I think that's a good place to start. I feel like this is a good way to read in order, so let's get started. Hello friends, so I have reached like the 15% mark of Beach Read, and I'm enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying it a lot. For the most part, it's interesting. It's a basic grumpy setup, kind of like neither one of these characters is really grumpy sunshine. Both of them are kind of grumps, which is kind of fun. But the tragic news is that this is, and all of Emily Henry's books are one point of view, which I have learned from my sister last night when I was like, I have an inkling that we haven't switched perspectives yet, so I assume there is only one perspective, and she was like, yes. So this is tragic news for me because I love to see the angst from both sides, especially with a grumpy character, because I feel like the grumpiness can kind of turn me off of the romance if it gets to be too harsh or too pointed. But I mean, this hasn't so far, in my opinion. It's just been grumpiness on both sides and not disinterest in getting to know one another from both sides. But so far, so good. Like, so far, I'm enjoying it. and I'm having a good time. Hello everyone. So I have finished Beach Read and it was okay. I really expected to like this more than I did. I think this ends up somewhere between a 3 and a 4 star, but this was good but not great for me. I enjoyed Emily Henry's writing style. I thought that the characters were interesting and I liked how she built her story. Like, I liked how the romance happened and everything, but this was much more complex than just focusing on the romance story. This was a lot about January and her grief, and January and her relationship with her father who has passed away, and it was about Gus and his past. Like, there was a lot more to, like, the focus of this book was not necessarily the romance, and to me that makes it not like a romance book. Like, this is a fiction book with a strong romance subplot, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that, but it just wasn't quite what I was expecting. And I was just kind of expecting it to be a little different. So I struggled with that a little bit. I also was disappointed, like I said, it wasn't dual point of view. And I think my big problem with this book was, like, my big hurdle with it, not even problem because it wasn't something the book necessarily did badly, was I didn't connect very strongly with January or Gus. Like, I thought they were good characters. I liked how they communicated with each other. It felt adult and more mature than some romances. Like, there were times when January was starting to be upset with Gus's behavior and she stopped herself and was like, I know we have to talk about this. Like, there was moments like that I really liked, but I didn't connect strongly with either of them. And in this particular book, they are pretty much the only characters in the book. Like, they are both living alone as neighbors, and there aren't a lot of other characters until we get towards the end of the book. And then I actually really liked it more because there were more characters involved and more input and more just, like, it just started to work better for me when there were more characters, and I don't know what it was about January and Gus that I didn't personally connect to. But I did like this. It just didn't wow me too much. So the next one is The People We Meet on Vacation, which I might read the premise of because I don't usually read premises. I usually don't read synopses, like, right before I read the book, and I didn't with Beach Read, and I'm wondering if now that hurt me because I was expecting something more romance heavy and maybe there would have been clues in the synopsis. So I'm going to read the synopsis of The People We Meet on Vacation, which I think is not universally but generally people's least favorite of Emily Henry's books, from what I've heard and kind of just from what I saw on the holds list. Like, there was no hold for The People We Meet on Vacation, and all the other books had like several weeks wait. So I'm just anticipating that this was people's least favorite, and I'll just be interested to see what this one is like. But yeah, so I'll try to put up a rating in between the two books here to tell you what I settle on, but right now I just think that this was like a 3.5 star. If I'm sticking with that, I will tell you, but that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. But yeah, I am feeling very mid about the book. Hello everyone. So it has been a while since I did an update for this vlog. I haven't read People We Meet on Vacation yet, and actually what's funny is that my loan came in for People We Meet on Vacation yesterday, and I'm finishing up my February reading right now. I'm finishing up Dune, and so I borrowed it thinking I will get to it in March. I will try to get to a couple Emily Henry in March so I can put this vlog out in April. And I saw Brie from Four Paws in a Book reading it, People We Meet on Vacation, and she did not like it. So there's some discussion going on Sprints right now about Emily Henry, and it just cracked me up because Brittany said all of the books were 3 stars for her, which makes me think they're going to be 3 stars for me because Brittany and I agree about a lot, and I just am very interested, so interested to see what's going to happen here. So People We Met on Vacation is universally people's, not universally, but most people's least favorite of Emily Henry's, so I'm gonna see what I think of it. I'm really hoping I can just bang it out in a couple of days here at the beginning of March, because it seems pretty short, and I'm just interested to see, because this is the friends to lovers trope, I think. So I'm interested to see where we go from here. This is editing. Julie here to tell you that she in fact did not read People We Meet on Vacation. She was hearing bad opinions about it at the time that her loan came in, and she did read a couple of chapters, but decided this book wasn't for me, so I did like DNF it. I don't know if it counts as a DNF, because I did only read a couple of chapters and thought, maybe I'll come back to this later, but I don't really have a strong desire to, so I guess it's a DNF, but she didn't tell anyone. Julie just continued on with Book Lovers and didn't post an update. And I have started Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and I am having a great time with this one. I love this so far. In this, we're following a pair of sisters who go to a small town. One sister is pregnant, but our main character, Nora, is a book editor, and she has a bit of a beef going on with another editor, or a literary. She's a publicist and he's an agent, or he's a publicist. No, she is a publicist and he is an editor, I think. And they have a little bit of animosity going on. But so far, this is much more about the sisters than it is about the romance, and I think that's how it's going to play out from here forward. So I am really interested to see this, because Nora and Libby remind me of my sister and myself, so I feel like this is going to be a bit of a special read for me. But the balance between everything is just working for me better than Beach Read did, because right off the bat, I was like, I read Beach Read like 3 months ago at this point. I think I remember being like intrigued at the beginning of Beach Read and then sort of losing interest. So we'll see if this is the same, but so far I am still really, really interested.
Hello, I didn't update you at all, but I have 30 pages left in this book. I love this. Nora is a character I really relate to as an older sister with a younger sister, and just so much of what happened in this book was very relatable to me. Even though I do not live in New York, I am not a book publicist. I am none of those things. Oh boy, I don't know if I wasn't in the right space to read Beach Read, because I do feel like this is similar in a lot of ways to Beach Read, maybe a little more refined because it is a couple novels later, but it just really got me. Good morning. So I have finished Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This is a surprise. I went in very low expectations. I don't think I've updated you at all through any of this, because I basically read this in one evening. We were going to an Emily Henry event on Tuesday for a release party, and I ended up reading this and absolutely loving it. So I was really excited to go to the event then, but I wanted to read more than just Beach Read before going, and my sister was pretty insistent that I read this before we go, so decided to do that, and I'm glad I did, because it was like a 5-star for me. I absolutely loved it. I loved Nora. I loved Charlie. I think I had my expectations a little tempered because I had read Beach Read and I wasn't a huge fan, so I was kind of expecting the style of romance that Emily Henry writes this time, and I was kind of expecting just a little bit better of an understanding of what kind of balance the romance would have, because the romance is I would say a bigger plot point than this, but it's also about a sisterly relationship, which is I loved it because Nora was an older sister. I'm an older sister. I really thought she talked about sisterhood in a way that was relatable to me. I just had a good time with it. So I absolutely loved Book Lovers. I'm sorry I didn't update you in the middle. I was really just having a great time reading it. It was destroying me a little bit, and I went through the whole thing, so I'm sorry for the no updates. However, I do have updates. Oh, I forgot one thing I'll have to show you. We went to the Emily Henry event, and they had games and trivia to win possibly signed copies, and also, like, you got a copy with your ticket, but if you won any of the games, you got a chance to win a signed copy. And I won, I
placed in one of the games and got a signed copy of this. They also had, these were for everybody, little sticker packs and bookmarks. So I chose the Book Lovers bookmark since that's the one I've read and loved. And I also got a In My Emily Henry Era tote bag, which isn't that fun. Like, we had such a good time at the bookstore event. Like, Emily Henry wasn't there. It was just a launch event, a bookstore party, and it was so much fun. I really went in with very, like, I didn't know what I was gonna do because I haven't read all of her books. But it was fun. We like got to know a few people. We said hi to some friends that were there. Overall, it was just, we were riding a high when we left because we had won the tote and the books. So yeah, it was a great night. So I'm not sure which Emily Henry book I want to read next now. If I want to read Funny Story or if I want to go for Happy Place. I might go for Funny Story because it's here, I have it, and also I've heard kind of mixed things about Happy Place. But I think that one's gonna hit me hard because I don't have the engagement or like relationship point of that story, but my friends and I would relate to the part of friends going to a cabin before their family sells it, because I did that once and I feel like that might hit home, kind of like Book Lovers did. So we'll see about that one, but I'm really interested to try Funny Story because Katie from I Would Rather Be Reading has like praised this so highly, so I really am curious if I would like it. So that is my updates for this morning. I'm sorry for being a little all over the place with both the camera work and my thoughts, but I just am still like so excited that we had such a fun time at the Emily Henry event last night because I kind of went in just like ready for anything and we had such a good time. Hello everybody. So it has been a while. I have started Funny Story finally. It's the middle of July and this vlog has been going on entirely too long. So we're gonna read Funny Story this week and then we are gonna close things out and let you know my final thoughts on Emily Henry. And now we're trying Funny Story, which I have heard such good things about. And I think I've decided at this point I'm entirely gonna skip People We Meet on Vacation, and I might try Happy Place at some point. But I think these were my 3 strongest contenders for books that I was gonna like from Emily Henry. And we have one that was middle of the road and one that was knock it out of the park. So let's see how it goes. So far, I think I'm 10% in, and I am impressed with Emily Henry because Miles's first chapter, I literally was ready to put the book down and walk away from him. And now like 3 chapters later, I actually really like him. So that turnaround was very quick. I'm impressed with her that we like got him opened up that quickly that I really like him already. But that's my update for now. I will keep you updated and posted and we'll see where we go. Hello everyone. So it is Saturday. You were supposed to see this vlog today, but I think it'll probably end up being tomorrow because I'm trying to finish Funny Story and I have just had too many books on the go that I haven't finished Funny Story yet. I'm at the 50% mark right now and I honestly think this is going to be another 5 stars from her. This is absolutely fantastic so far. I really like, I think this is, I've talked about a few times in this vlog that like Emily Henry is a romance writer, but she predominantly has like January had the grief of her father to reckon with, as well as her relationship with Gus. And then we also had Charlie and, oh god, I'm not gonna remember her name. In Book Lovers, they had the sisterly relationship. In contrast, Funny Story is the combo of Daphne's relationship falling apart and also then we're looking at the romance with Miles. So it's like 2 relationship things. So it feels deeper in the like romance genre rather than like fiction with a strong romance subplot. So I'm finding that really interesting. I'm also wondering if that's why like so many people like love this book, like as much as they have loved other Emily Henry books. I'm hearing so much praise about this one, but I'm kind of theorizing that that's why we're seeing so much love for this book because it feels much more romantic to me after reading these books like pretty close together. Like there's so much more focus on Daphne's feelings about Miles and kind of the build of their relationship and everything. So far, I am loving this. I'm absolutely loving Miles. He is wonderful. He's fantastic. Aoife has put his image as Nick Miller in my brain, and that hasn't left since I heard it. And he very much is that character, but very sweet, just lovable. Oh my gosh, I love him. And Daphne's fantastic too. Two of these books, Book Lovers and now Funny Story, I have read in moments in my life where I needed to hear some of the things the characters are telling themselves. Like, what the characters are saying to themselves, I also need to say to myself. So I think that's part of the reason these are really hitting with me, but also just like, they're fantastic. So that's my update for now. Really hoping to finish this book today, and you will either see the vlog later this afternoon or tomorrow. Hello everyone, so I have done it. I finished Funny Story by Emily Henry, and I absolutely loved it. I think I will give this 5 stars. I still think Book Lovers is going to sit at the top as far as favorites, simply because I loved the sisterly relationship in that so much. But I do think if we're looking at like skill and how Emily Henry has improved as a writer, I do think this is her best work yet. Like, this was so well done. It was so fantastic. The pacing was great. The characterization was great. Emily Henry is on that level with Taylor Jenkins Reid for me, that I just feel like these people are real. I feel like they're real. I feel like their problems are real. They're just fantastic, and I love them so much. I loved Miles. I loved Daphne learning to be friends with people again. I just truly loved this from start to finish. These make me want to travel to Michigan, like, every time. Makes me want to visit Michigan in the summer because it sounds absolutely gorgeous and full of fun things to do. Not that there aren't plenty of fun things to do where I live, but like, this sounds great. It makes me want to visit. So Emily Henry, the Michigan Tourism Board should like hire you on. But yeah, I loved this. I loved Miles. I loved Daphne. What's more to say? Just had a great time. What a great time. And overall, this vlog was a good time. I do think I'll still try to read Happy Place at some point. Like, I know there's mixed feelings about that, but I do think I'll try it. But I am pleasantly surprised by how much I loved Emily Henry. Like, honestly, how things have just improved since the first book is incredible. I just had a great time. Learned a lot. Learned I do like Emily Henry, and my sister is going to be so pleased that I love this book. I am pleased too, even though it took me 8 months to read 3 books when I meant to read them 1 a month. But I'm not upset. This is a great summertime book, and it felt like summertime, so I had a great time. But that is it for me today. If you have any thoughts or feelings or want to share anything about the books that I talked about today down below, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.